Hello, wholesalers, flippers, and real estate investors. My name is Sean Gallagher, and in this training today, I'm going to be breaking down our proprietary Google Ads wholesaling guaranteed profitability formula. And this is exactly how to predictably and profitably scale your wholesaling or flipping business from zero to over 100K plus per month with Google PPC ads. And this video isn't just based on theory here. This is actually backed by over $12.7 million in advertising spend between ourselves and our 100 plus clients. So here is the table of contents. This is exactly step by step each and every module we'll be going into during this video here. So to start off, number one, we're going to be going over exactly what are Google PPC ads if you don't know already, and exactly how they are used to generate high quality, motivated seller leads. Then in module number two, we're going to be getting into the step-by-step breakdown of an entire Google Ads motivated seller lead generation funnel. Then in module number three, we're going to be revealing our Google Ads wholesaling proprietary guaranteed profitability formula. And you'll also be able to download this exact calculator below for 100% free. Next module, we're going over the post-launch strategy. So this is exactly after you actually launch your Google PPC ads, and we're going to be going over exactly how to optimize each and every step of your Google Ads lead generation funnel to hit your desired KPIs and profitability. And then finally, you're going to be learning exactly how to get access to this next-gen real estate website technology that actually cuts your lead costs by up to 60+%. And this is going to be your number one unfair advantage when running Google PPC ads. So to start off, what are Google Ads and how are they used to generate motivated seller leads? So I'm sure if you don't understand already, you've most likely seen these Google search ads in the Google search results when you type in specific keywords into Google. So Google search ads are normally the first 2 to 5 sponsored search result placements when someone types in a specific keyword into the Google search bar. So you can see on the left side here, I typed in sell home fast, and what came up was around 4 sponsored Google ad placements. So you can see the first one here, the arrow is pointing directly to it, and people can click onto those ads and it goes directly onto their home buyer lead gen website. So each time someone actually clicks one of those Google ads, you as the actual advertiser are going to be charged a fee anywhere from $1 to hundreds of dollars per click. Google uses an auction-based bidding system, meaning, so for example, on the left side here, we have 4 separate advertisers. So whoever is willing to actually spend the most per click, normally for wholesaling lead generation, Google PPC ads, it's going to run anywhere from $10 to $30 to $50 or even $100+ depending on the competition with this auction-based bidding system. So say, for example, someone's spending around $30 cost per click, but the top result here, KM home buyers are willing to spend $50 per click. That would mean then based on a couple other results, such as the Google PPC ad quality score. So there's a couple other things that are incorporated into the ranking algorithm, but overall, whoever's willing to spend the most per click is going to show up first in the Google search results. So that's how this auction-based bidding system works. And this is very important to understand. Why are Google PPC ads so powerful in comparison to other types of ads, such as Facebook? And on other ad platforms, maybe YouTube or TikTok? Well, it's because Google PPC ads are intent-based advertising versus contextual advertising. So people are literally typing in to the Google search results the exact keyword of what they want right now, showing clear interest and intent in what they want to do. So if someone's typing in sell my home fast for cash, you know that there's clear intent and urgency right now in order to fix that specific problem. And that's why Google PPC ads are so powerful in comparison to something like Facebook ads, where people are just scrolling through a Facebook newsfeed mindlessly obviously, and a Facebook ad comes up asking them if they want to sell their home for cash. It's a completely different advertising system, and this is why Google PPC ads are so incredibly powerful, specifically for wholesaling leads, in comparison to something like Facebook, where maybe an e-commerce product where Facebook knows everything about you. They have tons of different data points. And they can show like maybe an e-commerce product, and then someone will just purchase that right off the news feed based on those specific data points that would basically show that they're interested in that specific type of product. This is completely different. They're showing clear urgency and intent to fix the problem right now. And the great thing about Google Ads as well is you can turn them on and instantly start generating motivated seller leads literally by the end of the day as soon as your ads get approved, versus something like, I'm sure you've heard of, search engine optimization, where you're ranking your website in the Google search results in order to generate ads. Well, these Google PPC ads, they're showing up above your ranked website. So you can see here, I think it's called Houzeo, Housey. That's a website that's actually ranked in the Google search results. But you can see here the PPC ads, they actually show up above the ranked search results, utilizing search engine optimization. And the worst thing about search engine optimization is it takes months or even years to generate that top spot. And if you aren't in the first two spots, you basically generate no traffic whatsoever. So with Google PPC ads, you're able to instantly show up above those ranked search results that have taken months or even years to get to that point, and immediately start getting traffic by the end of the day as soon as your ads get approved. And it's better than things such as organic social media, cold calling, driving for dollars, where it could take months to see any results, if any whatsoever. And once again, these are highly qualified, intent-based motivated seller leads. Next here, advertisers are also able to layer in geo-targeting by location, so you can target based on location. On top of those, the keyword targeting. So you can target people who type in the keyword "sell my home fast for cash," layered with the geo targeting as well. So people who type in "sell my home fast for cash" in specifically the Jacksonville area or wherever your target market is. So you can show your Google search ads to interested seller leads in your exact target market location. And then also here, this is very important, Google search ads, once they're actually set up and optimized, are mostly set and forget with consistent and predictable traffic flow without any ad fatigue. So this is a problem with other advertising platforms such as Facebook, where you need to be constantly changing out your ads each and every week with fresh new creative angles as the results die out in just a matter of days. But with Google PPC ads, the results are continuous as soon as you begin to optimize your advertising. So that is exactly what Google Ads are and how they're used to generate motivated seller leads. So now let's actually go on to Google and view some real life Google PPC ad examples from home buyer advertisers so you can understand exactly how this process works in real life and real time. Okay, so now we are on Google, and as you can see here, I typed into the Google search bar, "sell my home for cash," and these are the exact search results and Google PPC ads that have come up. So as you can see here, there are 4 different sponsored ads. So each of these are currently utilizing the Google PPC ads platform. And as you can see here, the very first Google PPC ads search result is PrimeBuyersJax.com. So this company right here has spent the most money per click in the auction-based system in order to get to that first placed ad position. And as you can see here, out of all of these 4 ads, which one would you click here? Most likely, you would click the PrimeBuyersJax.com website PPC ad. Why? Not just because it's the very first ad, but also the copy is the best. The headline is the most enticing to click on, and that's also incredibly important. We're gonna be getting into this a little bit further into the module here. But another very important factor in the success of your Google PPC ads is the copy of your ads, the headline. right here, as you can see, the description, the extensions. And once again, we're going to be getting into all of this and exactly how to optimize this, but it's incredibly important. It's not just the company that's willing to spend the most per click for their Google PPC ads. It's also the copy of the ad that's going to get the click. So it's very important. You could have the second placed ad or the third placed ad, but if your copy is better than the first placed ad, someone's most likely or going to click on your ad, or there's going to be a certain percentage of visitors that actually click your ad instead of the first placed ad. So that's very important as well. As you can see, they have the social proof in here. Florida's #1 cash house buyer. They have the benefits, no showings, repairs, and months of uncertainty. Get your cash offer, the better solution. They have the extensions as well. Get your free cash offer. They have reviews. So if you were a person who typed into the Google search bar, sell my home for cash, most likely you would click this specific Google ad first. So it's very important that you optimize your Google PPC ads, not just from a cost per click standpoint, but also from a copy standpoint with your headlines, your description, and also your extensions as well. And once again, we're going to be getting into all of that a little bit further into the module. And then you can see here, so this cuts off the Google PPC ads. They all show up above the companies that actually spent months or even years and tons of money ranking their websites in the Google search results. And the little secret here that not a lot of Google search engine optimization experts tell you in agencies is that if you're not one of these first 2 search results, maybe even 3, you're getting basically no traffic whatsoever. This is actually a known stat. It's that basically the first Google search result, it gets about 70% of the traffic. The second Google search result gets another 20%. And then after that, it's very, very minimal. So you're going to have to spend months or even years. And these companies right here, they are super entrenched companies and established. It's going to take a lot of work. And most likely you're not going to be able to get these top 2 spots. And that's the benefit of being able to use Google PPC ads, is that you can immediately show up over these highly established companies such as iBuyers that have billions of dollars in revenue and show up right above them with your Google PPC ads, so you get that click instead. So that's very, very important, but you want to make sure that your ad is properly optimized in order to get that click onto your website. So this is a quick breakdown in real time of what Google PPC ads look like and exactly how they work within the Google search results. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into all this and more detailed in the next modules here, but I just wanted to give a quick actual real life breakdown of the Google PPC ads in real time. Okay, so now that we know exactly what Google PPC ads are and how they work, it's time to get into a full breakdown of the lead generation funnels that are used to actually acquire the motivated seller leads. So first off, as we talked about, step number 1, we're going to place the Google PPC ad in the search results of the motivated sellers looking for specific relevant keywords such as sell my home for cash, sell my home online, and many, many others. Then step number 2 is where we actually get into the rest of the funnel. So step number 2, motivated sellers are going to land on your website from your Google PPC ad and fill out the form with their contact information to receive an offer on their home. So for this high volume type lead generation funnel, where we're trying to get the most leads possible from our Google PPC ads, what we're going to do is only use on our form the name, email, phone, and address. Those are the exact fields that we're going to be including on our form. So it's going to be less fields and less questions asked to the homeowner, but we're going to be able to get more volume and more leads in the door that we can then contact using their name, email, and phone. Then once they complete that website form, they're going to go onto the thank you page. So upon filling out the form, the motivated seller is going to be redirected to a thank you page with more information on our specific company. And we're going to be going over in detail exactly every single step of this funnel and what the pages are going to look like and exactly how to set them up. But for right now, I just want to do a high level breakdown so you understand every single step of the funnel, from the Google PPC ad to the home buyer website form to the thank you page, and then finally step number 4, the inbound lead phone call, where the wholesaler yourself is going to immediately follow up with the seller to make an offer on their home and close the deal on the call. So this right here is the high volume lead generation funnel breakdown for Google PPC ads. This is the exact funnel that you're going to use when you want to get a high amount of leads in the door. They may be lower quality because you're asking less questions on the home buyer website form. You're only asking for the name, email, phone, and address, but you're going to be able to get more leads in the door. So this is the funnel that you want to use when you're just getting started and you want to get as many leads as possible. You don't have a large budget to be running Google PPC ads with, and you have a lot of time in your hands. You're going to be using this high volume funnel where you're not going to be filtering out a large amount of leads. You're going to be calling each and every lead that you get in the door because you have that time and you want to make sure that you're as efficient as possible with your Google PPC ads budget. So if you have a smaller company, if you're a one-person operation, this is the exact funnel you want to use so you can get as many leads in the door and you can start calling them and closing those deals. So that's the high volume lead generation funnel breakdown. And next here we have the high quality lead generation funnel. So this is the funnel you're going to be using when you have a larger company. Maybe you have a couple people on your team, a couple acquisition managers, and now you want to start filtering out your leads because you're getting so many leads in the door per day, so that your acquisition managers are on the phone with only the most high quality leads that you know are going to close. You want to be able to prioritize the best leads first, so you can call them and make sure that you're only speaking to the most qualified leads first. You want to make sure that you're able to prioritize the best leads. So to start off, it's basically the exact same funnel as the high volume funnel. You're going to be placing Google PPC ads in the search results of the motivated sellers, searching for those relevant keywords: sell my home for cash, sell my home fast, sell my home online, in the specific geo-targeted location. Then step number 2, it's going to be the exact same home buyer website form. So it's going to be your name, email, phone, and address. So motivated sellers are going to land on your website and fill out your form with their contact information to receive an offer on your home. And this is where I just want to bring this up real quick, because this is where a lot of wholesalers and flippers with their home buyer website, this is where a lot of them mess up, because what they do is they put the qualification questions. So in this example, it's step number 2. They put those first before they acquire the contact information. That's not the way you want to do it. That's going to result in generating a lot less leads because you're not going to have that actual contact information. If you put the qualification questions on the front end before they actually fill out the website form, then they're going to be answering all these questions, but you're not going to have the most important part. You're not going to have the name, email, phone number, and address where you can actually follow up with them. So make sure that you follow this specific lead generation funnel. You do not want to have the qualification questions first. You want to make sure that you actually acquire the contact information first, and then you move on to step number 3, where the motivated seller is going to answer multiple additional questions about their home to increase the lead quality, so you know more about their house. We're going to be going over in detail exactly what those qualification questions are going to be, but they're going to be things such as: how quickly are you looking to sell your home? What is the condition of the home? Why do you want to sell the home? You want to ask those questions second after you acquire the contact information, so that you can actually follow up with them, and the qualification questions aren't just pointless. If you have them on the front end before you actually get the contact information, then you're not going to be able to follow up with them. So it's very important that that's the 3rd step, not the 2nd step. And then once they answer those qualification questions, you're going to move right back onto the thank you page. So it's basically the exact same thing. Once again, upon filling out the form, the motivated seller is going to be redirected to a thank you page with more information on your company. And then For this final part here, it's going to be the inbound lead phone call. And once again, these are going to be higher quality leads now because you actually added the additional qualification questions. So because you have a higher quality lead, you know exactly which leads to prioritize first that are going to be most likely to close on a deal and at the best price possible, so you can generate the highest profit possible. So you want to be using this funnel when you want to be able to prioritize your speed lead. You want to be calling the people that are actually qualified, the homeowners that are actually qualified, as quickly as possible. You want to make sure to prioritize those leads. Extremely important. That's the main reason that you're going to be using this specific high quality funnel with the qualification questions, because if you're a bigger wholesaling operation, you have multiple people on the phone, you want to make sure that they're calling the best leads possible first. If you're spending, $10,000, $20,000, maybe even more than that per month on leads, and you're getting, not just a couple leads in the door every single day, which you can call easily, you're getting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 leads a day. You want to make sure that you're able to prioritize the best leads so you can get back to them first and then focus on the other leads after that. So the wholesaler is going to immediately follow up with the seller to make an offer on their home and close the deal on the call with the extra data that you have on those specific leads. So that is the high quality lead generation funnel breakdown. You have the high volume, and then you have the high quality, as we talked about here. So now we're going to be getting into each and every step of the motivated seller lead generation funnel. We're going to be talking about exactly how to set these up, what the goal is for each step of the funnel, the best layout, exactly how to set up these specific parts of the funnel, and a bunch of different tips in order to have the highest conversion rate possible with each step of the funnel. So the number one goal of the Google Ads part of the funnel is to stand out in the Google search results, put emphasis on your company's specific differentiated value proposition, and steal the click from all the other home buyer PPC advertisers in your market. So we went over this a little bit in the previous module, but now we want to dig a little bit deeper into exactly how to set up your Google PPC ads so you can have the best results possible. So the layout that you want to have for your Google PPC ad is, number one, you're going to have the display URL. So that's going to be the URL of your website that shows in your Google ads. So on the left here, you can see, for example, primebuyersjacks.com, meridiantrust.com, markspain.com. Those would be the display URLs. And then next is going to be the headline. So that's going to be the larger primary text of your Google ad. So you're going to have Florida's number one cash home buyer, Jack's number one fast cash offers, same day cash offer, rebuy houses fast for cash. You want to make sure that it stands out in the Google search results, as we talked about. The goal of your Google ad is to stand out in the search results, put emphasis on your company's specific differentiated value proposition. So for example, we have Prime Buyers Jacks here. They do a great job with that. Florida's number one cash house buyer, Jack's number one fast cash offers. If I was a homeowner in Jacksonville that typed in sell my home fast for cash in that specific targeted area, I'm most likely going to go with this company first because they have that social proof statement, instead of maybe Mark Spain here, who says sell your house quickly, no showing and no open houses. The primebuyersjacks.com PPC ad is the most enticing for me personally, because they have that social proof element in the best headline. Then we have the description, which is going to be the smaller supporting text of your Google ads. So as we can see here on the left, it says no showings, repairs, or months of uncertainty. For Meridian Trust, we buy houses fast for cash, no fees, no commissions, all from experts that know Florida. We have Mark Spain, no stress, no hassle, no open houses, no showings. So that would be the description. And you just want to kind of support your headline in the description. And make sure that you include, once again, social proof, the ease of being able to sell their home. You want to make sure to put emphasis on your differentiated value proposition. Whatever you can do to steal the click from the other people, from the other advertisers in your specific target market, that is what you want to do with the headline description. You want to steal that click from everyone else and stand out in the search results. And then we have the extensions as well. So those are going to be the supporting links for your company. So for example, we have get your free cash offer, read our reviews, contact us, about us. So it's just extra supporting links that people can click on that would interest them. Okay, so some Google Ads copywriting tips. So as we talked about, the main goal with your Google PPC ad is not to sell them on, getting a cash offer. It's specifically to get the click. It's to sell the click by putting emphasis on the number one most valuable and differentiated offer. That is what you want to do with your Google PPC ad. You want to sell the click. You need to get the click. And then on the website, that's where you're going to start selling them on your company, why they should, type in their contact information in order to work with your company. That's what you want to do on the landing page. But specifically for the Google PPC ad, you want to focus on actually getting the click. That's very, very important. And then pre-framing them for once they actually get onto your website. So how can you do that? Well, number one, as we kind of talked about already, social proof and reputation statements, such as Jacksonville's number one fast cash offers. That's a great statement. Or for example, a lot of people use this as helping homeowners for 7 years to sell their home, helping homeowners since 1996 to sell their home. Those are great statements to use to actually provide some social proof and more information about your specific reputation and why people should work with you and why they should trust you over all the other companies in the Google search results utilizing their PPC ad program. Number two is the speed of receiving the offer or selling their home. So when receiving an offer or when working with a company, they want to receive the offer as quickly as possible, and they want to be able to sell their home as quickly as possible. When you're creating an offer, there are multiple elements that are incredibly important. Social proof is number one. They want to make sure that you're actually a reputable company that they can trust. Number two is speed. They want to be able to get the job done as quickly as possible. They want the fastest solution possible to fixing their problem. Number three is the ease. They want to make it as easy as possible. No showings, no repairs, no waiting for months of uncertainty. They want to make sure that's as easy as possible. And number three, they want to make sure that it's the least expensive solution that's possible. So in short here, we have the quote at the bottom here, and I think this kind of, sums it all up the best for your copywriting of how you want to, do your copywriting in your Google PPC ad. Homeowners want a guaranteed way, so a 100% guaranteed way to sell their home in the fastest and easiest manner possible at the lowest cost possible. That is what they want in a nutshell. So if you can create your ad copy with your headline, your description, and your extensions to display this statement the best, a guaranteed way to sell their home in the fastest and easiest manner possible at the lowest cost possible of anyone else in the Google search results, they are going to click your ad over all the other ones. That's very important. So social proof, speed of receiving offer or selling their home. So sell your home and get cash in hand in less than 7 days. That's a great statement right there. Ease, so ease of selling their home, no showings, no repairs, rebuy as is, no realtors. We have flexibility of closing, all cash sale, so very easy. And you want to display that you're going to be able to save them the most money. It's the least expensive option when it comes to selling their home. So no realtor commissions, no repairs. We pay your closing fees. Homeowners want a guaranteed way to sell their home in the fastest and easiest manner possible at the lowest cost possible. That is what they want. So if you can do this with your Google PPC ads, you are going to be incredibly successful. And what you want to do is you want to do kind of reverse engineer your competition. So go onto your type in sell my home for cash in your specific target market. Look at what your competition is doing. Look at what you like. Look at what you don't like. Look at where you can improve the copywriting with, social proof, speed, ease, and least expensive options. Those specific factors. Look at where you can improve upon your copy in comparison to your competition, and then basically put that in your copy in order to out differentiate them. That is what you want to do. Look at your competition, do a complete analysis and find where you can create your own unique twists and your own unique copy in order to outcompete them. That is what you want to do with your Google PPC ads. If you can do that, you're going to be highly successful. So that's step number one. Now, step number two in the lead generation funnel is your home buyer website form. So this is incredibly important. The goal of your home buyer website form is that you want to build trust and authority with the homeowner. You want to provide more details on your unique value proposition and get the homeowner to type in their contact information. That is the most important part of the website form. You need to get their contact information, because once you have their contact information, then you can follow up with them by phone and start selling them over the phone. But you need their contact information. You need them to type that in, which is going to be the name, the email address, the phone number, and the address, in order for them to become a lead and be able to contact them. Extremely, extremely important. And this needs to comply with CCPA laws as well. So in reality, I see a lot of people today, they're just doing cold SMS they're just buying list off batch leads, and they're doing cold SMS to thousands of people. That is not legal. That is illegal based on CCPA laws. You're not allowed to do that. So this is the legal way of being able to follow up with people through phone, being able to cold call them, being able to send them direct mail. This is the 100% legal and compliant way of doing that, by actually getting them to opt in with their information first. So it's very, very important. And that is the main goal of your home buyer website. Once you have that contact information, then you can follow up with them and utilize your sales skills. And that's why it's extremely important to get that contact information on your home buyer website. So how do you set up your home buyer website so it's the most optimized possible in order to acquire the lead at the highest conversion rate possible? So number one, you're going to have your header. So your header needs to include, number one, your logo, and number two, a call to action for your company's mobile phone, and then also the email address. So as we can see on the right side here, they have the logo, they have the phone number. Sometimes you can get away with just the phone number. That's completely fine, but I normally like to include an email address as well, because some people like to call, some people are more introverted, they like to email. So you want to make sure that you just have both of those options front and center right on the top of the page, so they can get access to that and call you or email you if need be, if they don't want to actually type in their information. Very important. Number two, we have the headline section. So this is the main section of your above fold of your website, where they're going to see immediately. So you need to include your headline, and you need to include a sub-headline as well, clearly explaining that your company purchases property in their specific target market area, and give a call to action to fill out the lead form. So for example, on the right side here, we see we are buying houses for cash all over Florida. That's perfect. I would include that front and center right in the actual headline section, instead of having this image there. I would put the headline, then underneath the sub headline, instead of having it underneath the opt-in form there. Get a fair cash offer from us on your property today with zero obligation selling your terms. I would not put it underneath there. So this website right here is a little bit under optimized. They're running a ton of traffic to this website, so these are just things that you would do to optimize even the best websites. Most people are doing the home buyer website incorrectly. So that just makes it that much easier for you if you actually, use these elements to the best of your ability, and actually do things properly and optimize your website properly. You're going to be able to have that much more success. So once again, your headline and your sub-headline need to clearly explain that your company purchases property in the homeowner's specific target market area, and then give a call to action to actually fill out the lead form. You need to be telling people exactly what you want them to do. Type in your address here and click the button. You need to tell them exactly what to do, or they're not going to do it. Next, we have the lead form. So we talked about this already, but you want to include a clearly visible and good user experience lead form to make it super easy for them with the fields to type in all their contact information, including their name, their email address, their phone number, and their property address. Extremely important. So some lead forms, and we're going to be talking about this a little bit further into the module here, but some lead forms, they're going to have, just one single field, which is great. So you type in the first field, type in the address, and then after that, it pops up with step number 2, which would be the name, email, and phone number. So that's you need to test things. You need to A/B split test things in order to find out what works best for you in your specific target market. But overall, you want to optimize for getting people to type in those 4 key elements of your contact information, so you can acquire that and then finally be able to contact them over phone, through email, or with direct mail as well. Then after that, this is kind of optional if you don't have any social proof yet, but if you do have social proof, I would definitely include it right here on the social proof bar. So you want to be able to build trust and authority with, Better Business Bureau badges. As if you're featured in any media publications, you can basically buy those press releases. if you would want it, and then it would be as seen on whatever, media publications. As we see on the right side here, we have USA Today, Fox, and that just builds a little bit of credibility. And increases conversion rates on your opt-in form. And then also you can include your Google or Trustpilot review scores. So that's very important as well. You can see 4.55 out of 5 stars. People really take into account your review scores. So that's important as well. So that's the social proof bar. Next part of the website is our process. So you're going to explain step by step exactly how your home buying process works, and you want to make sure to have them kind of display exactly how simple your process is. You want to you break things down as simple as possible so they can fully understand easily by just skimming through your website, so they can fully understand everything involved. So step number 1, we're going to call you. Step number 2, we're going to go over all the different details of your house. Step number 3, we're going to go into the closing process. So just do it step by step by step. Very, very simple. Break down your process to the most simplest form possible for them. Next up, who is this for? So in this section of the website, you're going to list out the different reasons and situations of why homeowners would want to sell their home with your company. So just break down, the different reasons. Motivation types: divorce, tired landlord, absentee owner. There's a bunch of different motivations that you can use. Just put them all right there in little boxes. And we're going to be going into a more detailed version, going through every single home buyer website so you can see these things live in real time on a real life websites. But just to break it down at a high level, you want to make sure to include exactly who you work with and the companies the type of sellers that you worked with before. Next off, comparison chart. So you're going to add a comparison chart to clearly display the benefits of selling your home with your company in comparison to traditional methods such as a realtor. So you offer no commissions, no repairs, no showings. You're going to pay their closing costs. You just want to break down side by side exactly why it's better to work with your company and how you're able to save them more money. As we talked about, in the previous section here with our Google PPC ads, they want a guaranteed way to sell their home at the lowest cost in the fastest and easiest manner possible. That is what they want. And if you can display in your comparison chart why selling with your home is better, utilizing those factors in comparison to a realtor, it's going to make them that more likely to actually opt in. Next here, as we kind of talked about, testimonials and reviews are extremely important. So you want to add videos or images of homeowners or reviews from homeowners that have actually sold their home with your company in the past to establish trust with a homeowner from hearing about, other great third-party experiences that they actually trust. That's super important. And then next, building off that, you want to have your About Us section. So you're going to display an image of your team if you can. If you have a full team, that's great. Just show headshots of your team. That just builds a lot of trust and rapport as well. Plus a short paragraph about the story of your company. The story of your company is extremely important. And once again, builds trust with them. You want to kind of display any unique value propositions that you offer, and then also just any other information to build rapport and trust with the homeowner, because they're selling one of the biggest assets that they own to you over the phone. So it's extremely important that you're able to build trust and rapport with the homeowner before they actually get on the phone with you. So it just makes it that much easier for you once you actually get on the phone and can talk to them and actually get them to sign that purchase agreement. Next, after that, we have the frequently asked questions. So any objections that they may have before they get on the phone with you, you want to make sure that you clear those up right in this frequently asked questions and on the home buyer website overall. So you're going to be answering all the biggest questions that a homeowner may have about your company's process of selling their home. So like, are there any fees involved? No. And just any other questions that they may have about your specific process. And then lastly, we just have the footer. So you want to include your terms of conditions and your privacy policy links. Those can just be auto-generated very simply. And then the proper Google Ads disclosures, very simple. You can just look that up on any website and then just generate that easily. And then lastly here, extremely, extremely important, make sure to optimize your website specifically for mobile, as the majority of homeowners will be viewing your website from a Google PPC ad specifically on their mobile phone. It's very, very important. 70% or even more of your traffic is going to be coming from specifically a mobile phone. So you want to make sure that it looks good on a mobile phone. It's easy. There's an easy user experience. Make it very easy in order for them to simply just type in their contact information on your website on a mobile phone. Because as we know, mobile phones are very small. It's hard to The majority of websites are hard to use on a mobile phone, so you want to make sure that you optimize your website to the best of your ability for a mobile phone to make it super easy so you can get the highest lead conversion rates possible. So that's step number 2 for your home buyer website form. Next, we're on to step number 3. So this is the advanced version. So if you're going to be utilizing a high quality lead generation funnel, so we talked about the 2 different funnels. We have the high volume and then the high quality. If you want to, utilize a high quality funnel, you're spending, $10, $20, $30,000 a month on advertising. You're getting, a ton of leads in the door every single day, and you want to be able to filter out those leads so you can prioritize the best leads possible. That's when you would want to utilize this step number 3 of the funnel. So the goal of this home buyer website form, the second step, where you're asking more qualification questions, is you want to make the homeowner answer multiple extra questions beyond just the name, email, phone, and address, contact information, to acquire more data on the homeowner's situation and property overall, making it much easier to identify if the lead is actually qualified up front and correctly prioritize your outreach when receiving a large amount of daily lead volume. So exactly as we talked about before. So what are the different qualification questions that you want to ask? We have an entire list right here. So number 1, how quickly do you want to sell your home? So if they want to sell their home quickly, you know that that's a hot lead. Because they want to sell their home right now. You want to get back to them as soon as possible so you can follow up that lead before anyone else in your market follows up with them. So why do you want to sell your home? So you're getting the exact reason for why they would want to sell their home. That's very important before you actually get on a phone call, so you can kind of, press on that. Do you currently have a mortgage on your home? Is your home currently listed with a realtor? If it is, that's going to make it a lot harder. So, in order for them to actually sell their home with you, so you want to make sure to know the answer to that question up front before you actually, get on a call with them. What repairs are needed to get the home in perfect condition? So this is a very important question. So you're able to actually calculate the exactly your maximum allowable offer, how many how expensive are the repairs going to be for the property. That's extremely important to understand upfront before you actually calculate your offer. What is the current condition of the property? So that just kind of builds on to what the repairs required. Are you the owner of this home? Is this a realtor? Is this a broker? That's very important to know. What is the type of property? Is it a single family? Is it a multifamily? Is it a townhouse? Is it a condo? How long have you owned this property? What is the lowest price you could sell the home for in its current condition? That's pretty important to know up front. If they're asking for a crazy outlandish price that you're not gonna be able to fulfill on, then that's most likely not going to be a good deal, and they're going to most likely need to work with a realtor. Is there anyone currently living in the property? Are there any tenants? Is the mortgage behind on payments? That's important. Maybe you can do some form of creative finance with them. Sub 2. How many beds, baths, and square feet? What is the square feet? What is the year built of the property? All incredibly important when calculating out your maximum allowable offer. Does the home have a basement, a garage, or a pool? Those are all added value elements. Very important, once again, when calculating your offer. So these are just some qualification questions that you can ask on your second step of the home buyer website form, in order to better qualify the lead up front and be able to prioritize your outreach if you have tons of leads coming in the door every single day. Very, very important. But this, as we talked about before, the most important part about this is you need to focus on doing step number 2 first. You need to get the contact information first before you start asking these questions, because a good amount of people are going to fall off during this entire process. So if you have the contact information first before you start asking the qualification questions, then you can still be able to follow up with them. But the biggest problem that I see, especially when we're working with larger home buyer companies, you would think that they would have this process optimized, but they don't. A lot of them, like this company here on the left side here, they're asking these qualification questions first before actually getting contact information. That's completely wrong, because a good amount of people are going to fall off in the process, and they're going to answer maybe 3 or 4 qualification questions and then fall off and bounce from your website, and you don't even have their contact information, so it's completely pointless. So that's why it's extremely important to get the contact information up front. Step number 4, the thank you page. And this is something else that I see from bigger companies that do not, that can be way better optimized in order to get a higher contact rate from your phone calls. As you can see on the left side here, cash offer option. This is a company that's running tens of thousands of dollars a month in traffic, and their thank you page is completely unoptimized. So if they were just able to optimize this page right here, their thank you page, they would be able to, most likely increase their the amount of money they're making by 10, 20, maybe even more percent every single month. So the goal of the thank you page, which is very underutilized, as we talked about, is to provide clear confirmation that their form has been submitted. You're going to be reviewing all of their information to calculate their offer, and you're going to be getting back to them as soon as possible. And the biggest thing here is you want to further establish trust and rapport on your company before the call. So this is going to be the page that you're going to utilize to give them a full breakdown of your company. Now that they went through your website, they looked at your website. They probably skimmed through it to start off with. Then they typed in all their information. Then they typed in all of your different qualification questions. Now is the point where you want to really give them a good breakdown of the next steps in your process and more about your company. You want to build as much trust and rapport as possible on the thank you page, because this is where they're really going to start looking at your company. Like, is this actually a good company to sell my home to? They're going to really start thinking about that, and they're going to start, looking at your Google reviews, looking at the different testimonials that you have to make sure that you're actually a good company that can fulfill on your promises. So how do you want to, lay out your thank you page? Well, first off, as we talked about on the home buyer website, you want to make sure that you have your logo and also your call to action for your company's mobile phone number and email address, just in case they want to, call you immediately. Then in the main section, you want to make sure to include and provide confirmation that the lead form was actually submitted, and congratulate them on that, and that you're going to be following up with them as soon as possible. Extremely important. To make sure that they understand the next steps, which would be in the next section here. What comes next? So you're going to explain the next steps of the process through a text or video. If you use a video, it's going to help in your conversion process, because people are actually going to be able to see your face and know that you're a real live company. You have a team, and they're going to be able to. It's just going to build that much more rapport and trust, because the majority of companies are not doing this. If you're willing to go above and beyond other companies, you're going to get above and beyond results. So you're going to be able to pre-frame the homeowner on everything that's involved and build more trust with them. And then you're going to include all of your testimonials. This is where you're really going to break down all of your testimonials, all of your reviews on this thank you page, so they can look through each and every one of them, because a lot of people are going to do that. Once again, they're selling one of the biggest assets they've ever owned in their entire life. They want to make sure that you're legit. So you want to make sure to include all the video and case study interviews that you have, your Trustpilot reviews, your Google reviews from homeowners, to further build trust with them. Then once again, you're going to include the About Us section, because most likely they didn't read it on the first part of your website. So you want to display an image of your team, short paragraph from the story of your company to further build trust and rapport. And then once again, for your footer, just include the terms and conditions, the privacy policy links, and also the proper Google Ads disclosures. And then at the bottom here, as you can see, we have our phone call contact rate optimization tips. This is super important and has resulted in a much higher contact rate. So the amount of people that you call that you actually get in contact with. So you're gonna find that a decent amount of people aren't even gonna answer you. Most likely because they think it's a spam call and they don't know that it's actually you. So that's one of the biggest problems that I see. So to combat that issue and optimize our contact rate, what we've implemented with companies that we worked with is to display and put emphasis on the page the exact phone number that you're going to be calling from, so that the homeowner is fully aware that it's you when you call them, and you're not just some random spam phone number. As I'm sure you understand, you're probably getting 5 to 10 spam calls a day like I am. I don't answer a single one of them. And that's why you need to make sure that in your sub headline of your the main section here, when you're providing contact information, make sure to tell them, we are going to be calling you from this specific phone number. Make sure to include it in your phone. Make sure to maybe create a contact. You want to give them a call to action and make sure that they understand that you're going to be calling them from that phone number. And then a secondary way of doing it as well is to add an immediate automated SMS text to the homeowner's phone number upon completion of their lead form, congratulating them on starting the process, providing your name, so the name of the person that's actually going to be calling them, to establish rapport, and then telling them that this is the exact phone number that you texted them from, that you're going to be calling them from. And that's important as well, because when you include the name in the text from your specific phone number that you're going to be calling them from, it's it's going to show, I'm sure you've seen this before on an iPhone, it's going to show maybe your name that you included in the text when calling them, which is going to improve your contact rate because they're going to know exactly who you are. So that's just another tip to utilize that's going to, greatly increase your contact rate so people actually answer the phone when you call them. And then number 5 here, we have the actual phone call. So this is, a high level where I'm going to, create multiple other videos on how you want to, go about the entire phone call process in order to actually close them. But at a high level, this is exactly the process in order to close someone on the phone. With a one call close. So the number one purpose of the phone call here is to get the seller to sign the purchase agreement on the call with an offer price that will allow you to profit at least $15,000 when you're flipping it to a cash buyer or, if you're going to be flipping it yourself. And that's extremely important here, guys. When you're doing Google PPC ads, it's an inbound phone call. So you're able to, do a one call close. Around 60+% of the actual qualified leads, our clients are able to actually close on the phone with a one call close. We're able to sign the agreement right on the actual phone call. So that is one of the most powerful things of, inbound leads, is that you're able to do a one call close, unlike with cold calling or other, cold outreach methods. These are hot leads. They're coming to you as the authority. They viewed your website already. They viewed all your Google reviews. They went through the entire process, and now you're on the phone with them and you're able to get them to actually sign the contract right on the phone because you have that inbound authoritative lead positioning instead of, cold calling people, cold SMSing them, which is basically illegal today, where you have that desperate positioning. Now you have the inbound authoritative positioning, and you need to be able to utilize that. So it's extremely important before you actually get on the phone call to make sure that you already have your preliminary maximum allowable offer already ready to go, already calculated. And then also what you want to do, this is a good tip as well, is to have the estimated profit for each 5 to 10% increment in case of negotiation. So most likely they're going to try to negotiate with you. So you want to make sure that you understand exactly what your estimated profit is going to be in different 5 to 10% increments. So you have that ready. You know what the absolute lowest offer that you're going to be able to make is, or, if you're able to, decrease your offer, and generate some extra profit as well. So you just want to know all of that beforehand. So this is exactly how your sales call is going to be laid out. This is the exact step-by-step breakdown. So step number 1 is going to be the greeting plus acknowledgement of the existing relationship. So you're going to provide the initial greeting to make sure you're actually on the phone with the correct person that submitted the lead form on your website, and then you're going to acknowledge your existing relationship. Extremely important. You need to remind them of why you're calling, and that they were the ones that, typed in the actual lead form on your website. You want to make sure that they understand that. They submitted the application on your website online to sell their home you want to make sure to tell them about their specific address at 123 Testing Street. You want to make sure that you include that so they understand that they were the ones that actually submitted the application on your website. They are an inbound lead. They're coming to you. You're not going to them with desperate positioning. It's an inbound lead. So you have that authoritative positioning. You want to make sure to set those expectations the entire time. And that's exactly what we're doing in the next stage here, your introduction plus expectations for call stage. So you want to provide clear introduction of exactly who you are, what your name is, and then also the company as well, and then set expectations for the structure of the call to build that authoritative inbound positioning by first expressing the reason it looks like they want to sell their home. So if you utilize the high quality funnel where you actually have the qualification questions, you want to make sure, okay, so you put in our website, you want to sell your home because you're recently going through a divorce. Is that accurate? And then they say yes. Okay. So, and then you're going to let them know that you're going to see if they qualify. This is the most important part here, guys. You're not going to them to see if they can sell their home to you. They're coming to you, and you want to keep that inbound authoritative position the entire time. You're seeing if they're going to actually qualify to sell the home to you. That is the biggest thing here. It's not. You want to make sure to keep that inbound authoritative positioning the entire time. So you're going to see if they qualify to buy their home, and at the end of the call, they're going to either get an approval with an offer or a denial with the reason of why we cannot purchase the property. That's extremely important. The entire time you want to keep that authoritative inbound positioning throughout the call, and because they're going to have a ton of people that are reaching out to them trying to buy their home. They're going to feel like, the hottest person on the block. They're getting 5 calls per day from people, annoying them trying to sell their home. But if you come to them saying that we don't even know if we're going to buy your house yet, you have to actually see if you qualify, and we might even deny you. It's a complete difference in the positioning, and that's one of the reasons that we're able to actually close these people with a 1-call close instead of continuously keep on following up with them with that desperate positioning. Okay, so next, after we do that, then we have step number 3, which is going to be the seller Q&A data collection phase. So during this phase of the phone call, you're going to figure out exactly the main, deepest level reason for exactly why the homeowner wants to sell their property quickly for cash with your company. You want to ask them what are the decision makers involved, how long they wanted to sell the property, if they've spoken to other companies about selling their property, why they didn't sell to those companies, and any other questions that you feel relevant to move forward towards the sale. So you want to get as much data as you can on the seller and their exact situation so they can utilize that in the sales process, and understand that before you actually make your offer. Next, after the seller Q&As, you're going to have the property Q&A data collection process. We're going to begin asking more qualification questions about the property, so you can just make sure that that they know that you're super interested in their property. You're you have a reputable company that wants to know as much as possible about their specific property, so you can get them the best offer possible. So you're going to begin asking them more qualification questions about the property with the understanding that all answers are needed to provide to your company's underwriting team who will be calculating the offer. So it's a highly collaborative process with lessened pushback. So this is super important. You want to make this a collaborative process between you and the seller, so that you can have lessened pushback from them. So it's going to be you, then you have the underwriting team who's actually making the offer. So you are not actually making the offer on their property. It's your underwriting team that is doing it. So when you're able to create that change in dynamic where their emotional, pressure is not towards you, it's towards the underwriting team, and you're just a person asking them the questions that you're going to be providing to the underwriting team that's actually going to make the offer, it's a completely different dynamic. It's a collaborative dynamic where you're trying to help them to get the best offer possible on their home, with your underwriting team. It's completely different. And when you're able to do that, it makes it that much easier when you're actually negotiating with them in the next phase here, which will be the offer price reveal. So what you're going to do once you get all that information and all that data on the seller and their property is you're going to put them on a short 2 to 3 minute hold, and explain to them that you're going to give all this information to the underwriting team. They're going to create an offer. You're going to actually see if the offer is if their property is approved or denied. And then also come back with an offer price if it's actually approved. So once again, we're going through that qualification process. We don't even know if they're going to actually get approved to sell the property. So after that 2 to 3 minute hold, you're going to come back to them and you're going to explain the underwriting team has actually approved their offer, and then you're going to reveal the actual offer price that they provided. And once again, as we talked about before, because we're using this process where you're not the one that's creating the offer, it's the underwriting team, you're able to divert that emotional pressure from the seller when you make that lowball offer on them from you to the actual underwriting team. So it's a collaborative process between you and the seller to actually negotiate the final offer price. So once you make that offer price, then you're going to handle any of the final objections in order to get the approval from the seller on that specific offer price. So whatever objections they may have, you need to be able to clear those objections, and we're going to be creating another video going deeper into this exact phone call process, but just at a high level. You want to handle any final objections so you can actually get that approval. There's multiple different things that you can do. If it's a price objection, You can kind of that's one of the reasons that we talked about before. You want to have that preliminary maximum allowable offer available, and then the estimated profit for each 5 to 10% increment in case of negotiation, so you can know exactly how low you can go down in order to generate whatever desired profit that you want to make. So you have all that available. You can handle those final objections, get the approval, and then once you get the approval, it's time to sign the contract on the actual call. You're not just going to send the purchase agreement to the seller, get off the call and expect them to sign it. That's not going to happen. You want to make sure to walk them through. You're going to send the purchase agreement to the seller. They're most likely going to skim through the contract. You're going to send it to them through DocuSign or one of these, online signing services software. They're going to skim through the contract, and then you're going to walk them through the contract, basically handhold them through signing each and every part of the contract to make sure that it actually gets done. And then once the contract is signed, they send it back to you. Then you're basically just going to provide them a clear explanation of the next steps involved up to the close. So you're going to be sending a person to inspect the property to make sure that it's exactly as they described. They're going to take pictures of the property. You're going to talk to them about what the process with the title company, and then boom, you're done. That is the entire process right there. That's how you close them right on a single phone call. And that is one of the biggest benefits of of Google Ads when you have inbound leads, is you're able to do that one call close. So we have the greeting acknowledgement of the existing relationship step number 1 process. You have the introduction and the expectations. Step number 3, you have the seller Q&A data collections part of the process. Step number 4, you have the property Q&A data collection part of the process. Step number 5 is the offer price reveal. And then step number 6 is signing the contract plus giving them the next steps for the onboarding phase. And that is how you close them in one single phone call from an inbound Google PPC ad lead. That is the process, the final part of the motivated seller lead generation funnel. So now let's go onto Google and actually go through some actual wholesalers' real life Google PPC ad lead generation funnels, so we can actually see in real life, in real time, what one of these funnels looks like. And then we can kind of go into exactly what could be optimized. As we talked about before, we went through basically every single element of what you want to include on a Google home buyer website within their lead generation funnel. So we can kind of show you exactly, the majority of wholesalers are not doing what we talked about in this module here. They're not doing that. And that just opens up so much more opportunity for you if you can actually do these things correctly. It's going to drop your lead cost and allow you to convert that many more homeowners actually into a sale if you're able to do all these things properly, as we talked about in the module. So let's get into that right now. Let's go on to Google and start searching up some of these wholesalers' home buyer websites. Okay, so now we are back onto Google and we've typed into the search bar, sell my home for cash, and we have a couple different Google PPC ad results here. And what we can do is we can click on these specific Google ad placements in order to go through and do a full analysis of their lead generation funnel. So let's start off with primebuyersjacks.com right here. So we click onto the PPC ad and we come to their home buyer website. So it's pretty much laid out as we talked about in this module here. We start off with the headers. They have their logo, they have their nav menu, they have a button to get the free offer. One of the things that I would definitely do is make this call us section a lot bigger and front and center here. I would put it in this position here to increase conversions. But overall, as we see here, we have the main headline section. We have the headline, we have the sub-headline, give them a call to action to actually type into their information in order to receive an offer. We have the social proof element, as we talked about, Jacksonville's trusted home buyer since 2015, the Google review score, the BBB accreditation. We have the as seen on, so the featured media pubs, the process, the step-by-step process section. They have their about us section right here, which is fine. Then the reasons why a client would work with them. So who is this for? Inherited their homes, job loss, damage, foreclosure, all the different reasons of reasons someone would want to work with them, a homeowner. Then we have the comparison chart section, as we talked about, this traditional process versus working with them. So instead of paying 6% fees, there's 0 fees. highest off-market price. Instead of having to clean up and repair their home, they can sell it as is, close in as little as 7 days. We pay the closing costs, so just a comparison with their company compared to a realtor. We have the testimonials, as we talked about. Another call to action here, which would most likely send them to a form, as we can see here. Then we have this is more of an SEO sitemap type strategy, so they're trying to rank for the different areas in Florida. So that's just for their SEO purposes. And then we have the footer as well. So they included most of the website elements that we talked about in this module here. So what we can do is we can start going further into their lead generation funnel. So we're going through their opt-in form here. They utilize a property address and phone number to start off for those two fields. And then we go into a second step here. I definitely wouldn't do it this way. This most likely is resulting in reduced conversions. Let's just type in some random address here to test this. So let's submit this here. And then it goes to the thank you page. So this is the thank you page we talked about. There's no custom qualification questions. So they're going for more of a high volume type strategy and getting as many people in the door as possible. So we see here, you can send them an email, give them a call, what to expect next. We talked about this. So no fees, we buy as is. I would definitely, as we talked about in the module, include some testimonials, more about their company, everything like that. This is one of the most underutilized parts of the Google PPC ad lead generation funnel. So if you're able to actually optimize this, put your testimonials on there, put a video here of exactly the next steps of the process with you or someone from your company talking face to face with them, so they can actually see you and feel like it's a real company with real people that are going to be reaching out to them. If you're able to go above and beyond all these companies, this is one of the top companies in this, specifically the Jacksonville area, and there's so many under optimized elements of their website. If you're able to, even if you're a new wholesaler or flipper in the area, if you're able to outcompete them by optimizing your home buyer website with the elements that we talked about in this module, you're going to be able to outcompete them. Even if they're established, they're spending tens of thousands of dollars a month, you will be able to outcompete them if you actually go above and beyond what these companies are doing. So that is Prime Buyers Jax. Now let's go into let's say another different company here. So this is the second search result in the Jacksonville area. Let's click on them. So as we can see here, same thing. They have their contact information up here, which is kind of small. I would definitely include it right here in bigger text, a bigger call to action. We get the logo, the nav, headline, enter your address to get started, subheadline, so it gives you a nice call to action. They're using a search by initial location based opt-in form, so most likely it's a two-step opt-in form where you're first typing in the location of your property address, and then next they're going to ask you for the name, email, phone number. So that's a good way of going about things. That's a good way of doing the opt-in form. The About Us section, kind of breaking down exactly what they do, the benefits. We have the social proof here, exactly the steps of the process. This is a more detailed, in-depth comparison form. I like this. So not only are they comparing it to traditional manners, they're talking about online buyers and local investors as well, what makes them different. So they have the transaction coordinator on the call. So this is very important. So we talked about how important it is to display your unique value proposition, not just over the realtors in the area, but also the other competition in the Google PPC search results. So right now I'm liking this website a lot more, and this is building more trust and rapport in my eyes by differentiating their value proposition as well in comparison to the number one website, the number one established PPC result with Prime Buyers Jax. Like, I like their website a lot more here. It's definitely attracting me more than the other website. So I may want to go with them, even though they're the second search result here, and they might not be the biggest home buyer in the area compared to Prime Buyers Jax. So they have the testimonials here, frequently asked questions, awesome. Contact us information. Then they have the footer here. So let's go deeper into their funnel. So far, I'm liking it. Yep, as we talked about, the two-step form. So we can type in some sample information here. And then we have some more custom qualification questions. Very interesting. So they're going for more of a high quality type type form, as we talked about. They're asking for if the property has a pool, if it has parking spots, what year it was built. Some of this information is already pre-filled, it looks like. They most likely auto skip traced. So that's interesting. Vacant. Is it part of a homeowners association? How quickly are you looking to sell? These are all questions that we talked about in order to qualify the prospect. So this is a good job on their part. Thank you. So as we can see here, once again, the thank you page is completely underutilized. There's really not that much information. If we're able to go above and beyond these people and actually put testimonials on the page, different case studies, a personal video telling them exactly what's going to happen next, more about the company. If we're able to go above and beyond, people are more likely going to want to work with our company over their company. Especially that we have better sales skills on the phone. We use the script that we talked about in this module. So let's just go through one more property here, or one more home buyer website. So this one looks a lot more personal. So I'm kind of liking this. The layout is a little bit more complicated and more kind of clumpy, but overall I like this. So as you can see here, big call to action for the call the call to action to the website, to the phone number. They utilize a form where it's a phone, email, and property address, no name. This is great right here. This is what we want to see. Personal, humanized videos. People love us and so will you. So this shows an actual case study of them working with this specific person right here. If someone comes to this website and sees this, it's going to build a lot of trust and rapport in comparison to the other websites. Once again, another personal video. Love this. Really going into more copy here about who works with them, how the process works. Once again, another opt-in form, more long-form copy. A lot of people won't even read this, so I mean, I would definitely simplify and use a little bit less copy and break this up here into more better sections. But overall, this looks good. So let's go a little bit deeper into their funnel. That testimonial right there is a game changer, though. Very important. Okay, so they're using they're doing a more high quality type funnel, which is good. So as you can see, there's more questions about the property. What is your ultimate goal? Why do you want to sell the house? When's the best time to call? So we can type in all that information, and they'll have that before they get on the call. Excellent. Now a few more questions to help us learn about the property. Takes 5 minutes. Yeah, so I mean, this is decent as well, but the biggest problem is a lot of people aren't going to want to waste their time. They're going to want you to call them as soon as possible. So this could kind of be a little bit of a turnoff here. People, you want to streamline the process as much as possible to make it the simplest user experience possible for the homeowner. So you want to make sure that to reduce as many steps as possible, to reduce the amount of friction that is placed in front of the seller other than the opt-in form in order to get the desired result. So this would be something that I would definitely change up overall. But I mean, overall, if I had to choose between these three search results, I would most likely choose the Golax Properties LLC. I would choose that website. So as you can see here, there are ways to differentiate. It doesn't matter if this is the number one home buyer in the area, Prime Buyers Jacks. It doesn't matter if it has the number one PPC result. People are most likely going to click at least 1, 2, maybe 3 of these Google search results and see and get different offers and go through the different websites. That's what they're most likely to do when running Google PPC ads. So you want to make sure that your home buyer website establishes your unique value proposition. And I think Golax Home Buyers did a great job here, specifically with their comparison website, and then overall with their form as well. This is a very optimized form. The other companies here are using, quite unoptimized forms, especially they're most likely spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on this. So that would be one thing that I would come into their company and definitely work on overall to get a conversion boost and gain more leads up front at a lower cost. So that is a basic explanation in real time in a real life scenario of how Google PPC ad funnels work for wholesaling and flipping companies. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of how everything works overall. So we went through the Google PPC ad side of things, and now we went through the actual funnels. So now you're kind of getting a full view of everything, of how you can differentiate and how you can outcompete your competition. You want to go in, you want to reverse engineer what all of your competition is doing, and then come in with your own unique value propositions, your own unique twists, and just figure out a way that you can outcompete your competition. It doesn't matter if Prime Buyers Jax is the #1 cash buyer in the area. It doesn't matter if they have the top PPC search result. Golax Properties was able to, I think in my mind, if I was going to choose a company to work with, I would choose them because of the way that they were able to, kind of outcompete and out differentiate their unique value proposition on the actual home buyer website and just throughout the entire funnel. So that's what you want to do. You just want to find ways to outcompete. And that's exactly what we're learning here in this specific module here, how to outcompete and how to go above and beyond. Because if you're able to go above and beyond on every single step of this entire lead generation journey, it's going to allow you to, outcompete your competition, even the most established competition in your specific area. So that's the end of this module here. Let's get into the next one. Okay, so now that we understand exactly what Google PPC ads are, how they work, and the entire lead generation process involved, it's very important that before we start any Google PPC ad campaign, that we first set strict KPI expectations for each and every step of our lead generation funnel, so that we're able to directly forecast the profitability of our funnel overall. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see beginner Google Ads advertisers make. It's that they don't set up these strict KPI expectations for each step of their funnel, which causes them to start getting stressed out and anxious when they start spending money, and they're basically going into their campaign blind and don't understand what should be happening in each and every step of their funnel in order to hit their desired profitability goals. And what happens when they don't have these expectations set up, they start getting freaked out, they start getting anxious, and they shut off their campaigns before they actually start seeing the results that they expect. So this is the biggest mistake, and why I see beginner Google Ads advertisers, specifically in the wholesaling and flipping niche, waste thousands of dollars before they start reaching the success and the desired profitability in their campaigns. And this is exactly why we introduce our proprietary Google Ads guaranteed profitability formula calculator to each and every one of our clients, so that they can understand exactly what's going on in their campaigns, and understand that each and every step of the campaign is hitting those strict KPIs that we set. And that overall, at the end of the day, once we start spending through on our campaigns, we're going to hit those desired goals. And if we aren't hitting those goals, we're going to go in and we're going to optimize each step of the campaign in order to actually hit our desired goals. So what you can do right now is you can click the button below. There should be a link in the description, and you can actually download this calculator 100% free. We're not charging you anything for this. This is completely free value. And now we're going to actually go into our guaranteed profitability formula calculator, so we can set everything up so you can fully understand what you need to do with your campaigns in order to plan them out before actually launching them. So let's get into it right now. Okay, so this right here is our Google Ads guaranteed profitability formula calculator that we use in order to directly forecast the profitability of each and every Google PPC ad campaign before even getting started and running the campaign. So what we like to do here is we basically like to ask our real estate investor clients, how much revenue per month do you want to make? And then what we do is we reverse engineer each and every step of our funnel in order to hit those desired goals. So let's take, for example, our client wants to make $20,000 per month. So now we have $20,000 per month here. So to start off here, what is your average cost per click? So now we have to set up each and every step of our funnel. So we're going to start off with the cost per click. So what is it going to cost us in order to get a click from our Google PPC ad campaign? As we talked about, it's an auction-based system. So the cost per click is really going to be determined by the competitiveness in your market. But normally it's going to average out around $30 to $50 per click. So let's just take, for example, $30 cost per click. So the next step of the funnel, what is your average lead conversion rate? So what is a lead conversion rate? Well, your lead conversion rate is going to be the amount of people that click onto your website. So the amount of clicks you have onto your website divided by the amount of people that actually become a lead. So how many people that actually hit your website become a lead? And on average, you're going to see this number is around 20 to 30%. So let's just take 20% for example. So 20%. So about 1 out of every 5 clicks you get to your website actually become a lead. So next up we have, what is the average cost per lead? So at a $30 cost per click, so it costs $30 for every click you get to your website, 1 out of every 5 of those clicks actually become a lead. So that means that your average cost per lead is going to be $150. And this is extremely important because as we talked about before, one of the biggest mistakes that beginner Google Ads advertisers make is they shut down their campaigns too early because they don't understand how much money they need to spend in order to hit every step of their every KPI of their lead generation funnel. So many people don't understand. Yes, if we're spending $30 cost per click and we're getting 1 of every 5 people, homeowners to actually convert into lead, it's going to cost $150 per lead, and that may scare some people. But if we have all of our metrics already laid out and we understand, okay, it may cost $150 per lead, but if we're closing 1 out of 10 of those leads, it's going to cost us $1,500 per deal. And if we're making $20,000 per deal, then we're generating, a 10, 20x ROI on those leads. So let's just go a little bit deeper into the funnel here. So as we talked about, $150 cost per lead. And now what is your lead to deal conversion rate? So this is the next step of the funnel. How many leads actually become a closed deal? So on average, I would say around 5%. So we're talking about 5% of the amount of people that actually become a lead end up closing as a deal. So 1 out of every 20 leads that you get actually end up becoming a deal. So next off here, so then our average cost per deal, so as we talked about, $150 per lead times 20 equals $3,000 cost per deal, closed deal. So it's going to cost you $3,000 per deal. But next off, how much money do we earn per deal? So what is our average assignment fee if we're a wholesaler? On average, it's going to be anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. So let's just say $20,000. So let's go through the funnel one last time now that we have all the metrics laid out. So it costs us $30 to get a click from Google PPC ads. So $30 cost per click. 1 out of every 5 people, 20%, 1 of every 5 homeowners actually become a lead. So our average cost per lead is $150. It takes about 20 leads at $150 per lead in order to actually get a closed deal. So that means it's costing us $3,000 in order to just get a closed deal. And once again, as we talked about before, the number one biggest mistake beginner advertisers make is they don't understand how much money needs to be spent in order to get a closed deal. So they'll spend, $1,000, they'll spend $2,000, and they're not seeing the results that they expect because they're going to their campaigns blind. They don't have their strict KPI goals set up, so they understand upfront exactly how much money, and they shut their campaigns down at $2,000 when all they need to do was just spend another $1,000 and they would have hit that $3,000 cost per deal. Then they would have earned $20,000 per deal. And then what is your profit per deal? So your earnings per deal minus the cost per closed deal is going to give them the profit per deal. So if they would have just spent that $3,000, they would have made $17,000 profit at the end of the day. And then next is just another metric here. What is your ROAS? So it's your return on your ad spend. So for every dollar you're putting in, you're getting about $6.67 back. So for every $1,000 you're spending, you're getting around $6,670 back. So it's just a metric that advertisers use in order to understand the return on their ad spend. But overall, the most important part here is what is your profit per deal. So you're making 17,000 for every $3,000 that you're spending, you're making back $20,000 and a $17,000 profit. So are you willing to spend $3,000? Seems like a lot to a lot of beginner advertisers, but if you're willing to spend $3,000 and make back $20,000, would you do that every single time? Yes, obviously. So that's what you need to understand. That's why this guaranteed profitability formula calculator is so important, because it helps break down every step of your funnel, so you fully understand upfront exactly how much money needs to be spent in order to generate these results. And then if you aren't hitting these metrics, as we talked about, and we're going to be going over a little bit further into this module here, what happens if you aren't hitting these metrics? What happens if your lead conversion rate is only at 10%? We need to go in, we need to do things to our funnel in order to optimize it, and that's what we're going to be going over in the next part of the module here. So how much money are you going to need to spend on Google Ads per month in order to hit your $20,000 revenue goal? You're going to need to spend $3,000 because it's a $3,000 cost per closed deal. How many deals per month will you need to close? Well, you need to close one deal per month, since you're earning one per deal. You're making $20,000. So how much revenue do you want to make per month? We already went through. This is the key number that we're using for each and every client in order to reverse engineer exactly what we need to do. So at the end of the month, after we take out our ad spend, we're making $17,000. So at the end of the day, are you willing? This is all you need to know. Are you willing to spend $3,000 in order to make back $20,000? Yes, I would do that every single time. And that's the biggest problem that beginner advertisers don't understand. Like they see this $3,000 number, they think it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, you're making back $20,000. So it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're making a $17,000 profit. But most beginner advertisers, they shut down their campaigns before they're able to see this result, because they don't have this entire funnel already laid out, and they don't know upfront what's going to be happening in the funnel. So that's what you need to do. Once you set up your funnel, you're going to need to look at exactly if you're hitting these metrics, and if you aren't hitting these metrics, then you need to optimize these metrics. But even let's say, for example, you're only converting at 10%. So we have a best, realistic and worst case scenario. So let's say worst case scenario, we're only hitting 10%. Okay, now we're spending $6,000, but we're still making back $14,000 at the end of the day after we take into account the $20,000 minus $6,000. We're still earning the profit per deal is still $14,000. I'll spend $6,000 every single day to make back $14,000. That's not a problem. So this is just how you need to set up your expectations for your funnel, so you can fully know upfront, okay, if this happens, then I'm still making back this much money. If my lead to deal conversion rate is only converting at 2.5%, and it's a $6,000 cost per deal, okay, I'm still making $14,000. That's not a problem. So this is how the guaranteed profitability formula calculator works, and this is what you need to do in order to plan out your campaigns and fully understand upfront how much money you're going to be spending, exactly what's happening in each step of your funnel. Okay, I'm spending $30 cost per click. Okay, I have a 20% lead conversion rate. 1 out of every 5 people are actually converting into a deal. Okay, I have a $150 cost per lead. 3% of my leads are actually converting into a closed deal. Okay, my cost per closed deal is $6,000. I'm making back $20,000 in assignment fees. Okay, at the end of the day, the profit per deal is $14,000. I'm earning my return on ad spend is around 3.33, which means for every dollar I spend on ads, I'm making back $3.33. I need to spend $6,000 a month in advertising in order to hit my $20,000 per month revenue goal. I need to close at least one deal, and at the end of the month, I'm making $14,000 in profit after subtracting out my ad spend. So that's exactly how the guaranteed profitability formula works, and you need to use this upfront in order to plan out your campaigns before getting started. So once again, you can download this calculator below, 100% free, not charging you anything for this. And in the next module, we're going to be going over exactly how to optimize each step of these campaigns so that we can further increase our profitability. So that's going to be a great module. So let's get into it right now. Okay, now that we've planned out our Google PPC ad campaigns with our guaranteed profitability formula and we've set strict KPI expectations for each and every step of our funnel, from the cost per click to the lead conversion rate, to the cost per lead, to the lead to deal conversion rate, to the cost per deal, to virtually every single step of our Google PPC ad lead generation funnel, it's now time to officially launch our Google PPC ad campaigns and spend at least 2 to 3x your set CPA, or your cost per closed deal. So if your cost per closed deal is $1,000, you would spend $2,000 to $3,000. If it's $3,000, you'll spend $6,000 to $9,000. And then what you want to do is review the data for each step of your funnel in comparison to what you've planned out with our guaranteed profitability formula calculator, and then optimize them to achieve your desired KPIs and overall profitability. Because at the start, you may not be hitting your exact desired KPIs. So what you need to do is you need to optimize and continuously optimize again and again and again after you spend 2 to 3 extra CPA, so that you can achieve your desired KPIs and even enhance them even further to achieve an even higher overall profitability with your Google PPC ad campaigns. You want to continuously be optimizing your campaigns to achieve the highest profitability possible. And how do we do that? Well, I'm going to give you the exact steps from a high level. We'll get into how to do this really a lot further, more granularly in further modules. But for now, we'll give you a high level on a bunch of different things that you can do in order to optimize each and every step of your Google PPC ad lead generation funnel. So to start off, as we talked about, we have the cost per click. So the clicks that you're getting from your Google PPC ad, how much is that costing you? Then we have our lead conversion rate. So the amount of clicks that hit your website, how many of those are actually typing in their name, email, phone number, and address into your website form in order to become a lead. Then we have our cost per lead. So how much is it costing you in order to acquire a lead? Based on the cost per click and the lead conversion rate. And then next we have our lead to deal conversion rate. So how many of those leads that you're actually generating are actually becoming a closed deal? And then finally, your cost per closed deal. So how much is it costing you in order to actually acquire a closed deal? So these are the 5 most important metrics that you can optimize in your Google PPC ad lead generation funnel. So to start off, how do we optimize our cost per click? Well, first off, you can increase your Google PPC ad CTR, or your click-through rate. So that's the amount of people that are actually clicking your ad in the Google search results. So based on the amount of impressions your ad is getting, how many people are actually clicking your ad in comparison to those impressions? So what is an impression? Well, it's the amount of people that actually scroll through and see your ad. So out of 1,000 impressions, how many people are actually clicking your ad? Out of 100 impressions, how many people are clicking your ad? That's your click-through rate in a nutshell. So by being able to increase your click-through rate, you're able to reduce your cost per click. And we want to lower cost per click, because the lower the cost per click, with all other upstream metrics kept constant, the lower our cost per deal is going to be. And that's the most important metric, is our cost per deal, because the lower our cost per deal, the more money we're going to make at the end of the day. So we want to be able to increase our click-through rate. How do we do that? Well, we're going to split test a variety of different headlines, descriptions, and extensions to find what elicits the best response, the most clicks within your specific target market. So every single target market is going to have different things and elements and different types of copy that you can use in order to get more clicks. So what works in the Jacksonville target market might not work as well in the Fort Worth market in Texas, or in Tempe, Arizona. So you need to be able to split test a variety of different headlines, descriptions, and extensions. As we talked about in previous modules, we gave you exactly what you can do in order to create the best Google ad possible. You want to be able to put emphasis on your unique value propositions. You want to make sure that your ad has emphasis on it's the most guaranteed way to have allow them to sell their home in the easiest and fastest manner possible at the lowest cost possible. So if you're able to display that in your Google PPC ad and show why your company is better to work with in comparison to the other companies in the PPC ad search results, then they're going to want to click on your ad in comparison to the other ads. And another way of doing this is to optimize the perceived value of your offer and differentiate yourself from the rest of the Google PPC advertising competition in your market. So one of the ways you would do this is, once again, speed. So if the majority of people in your market, for example, we're going to be talking about this a little bit in the next module when we talk about the new technology that I'm going to reveal to you. But if you can give them an instant offer on their home instead of them having to wait for an offer 24 hours to 48 hours, that's going to increase the perceived value of your offer in order to just get the opt-in, because everyone is basically wired from social media on instant gratification. They want to instantly see what the offer is going to be on their home, how much money you're willing to offer them. So if you're able to give them an instant offer right on the website without having to talk to anyone, in comparison to them just filling out a form and maybe someone will get back to them within 24 hours, they don't even really know, they're going to want to choose that Google PPC ad over the rest of your competition. So that's just an way to instantly outperform your competition. We're going to be talking about that a little bit in the next module with this brand new technology that we're going to be revealing to you. So those are ways to increase your overall click-through rate. And number two, you want to cut high CPC keyword targeting. So there's going to be multiple different keywords that you're going to be targeting, and we're going to be going into this a little bit in different modules and different trainings, but there's multiple different keywords that you can target. So you can target sell my home for cash. You can target sell my home. There's so many different keywords that are relevant to what to the audience that you're looking to target. And then you're going to have a list of those keywords, and whichever keywords have an extremely high CPC with all the other downstream KPIs also underperforming. So this is extremely important. Just because a keyword may have a high cost per click doesn't mean it's a bad keyword to use, because a keyword can have a high cost per click that you're targeting, but if it has the lowest cost per closed deal, that's what actually matters at the end of the day. So there could be a $10, there could be two separate keywords. So say sell my home online versus sell my home for cash. Sell my home online has a $10 cost per click, but a $1,000 CPA, cost per closed deal. And then you have the other keyword, which has a $5 cost per click, but a $3,000 CPA. So in reality, the first keyword has a much higher cost per click, but overall lower cost per closed deal. So you wouldn't want to cut that keyword, even though it has a higher CPC, because overall the CPA, which is the most important part, how much it's costing you in order to get a closed deal, is the lowest. So these are things that you have to take into account when you're cutting your different keywords that you're targeting. So make sure all the other downstream KPIs are also underperforming if you're going to cut those specific high CPC keywords that you're targeting. So next off, how to optimize your lead conversion rates, the amount of people, homeowners that actually click your Google PPC ad and land on your website in comparison to people that actually opt in on your website. Number one, very simple thing to do is optimize your page load speed. So this is something that's kind of not a lot of people understand, but your page load speed is one of the most important aspects and one of the simplest things that you can do in order to increase your overall conversion rate. So every 1 second that your page takes to load, every extra 1 second, it's an up to 20% drop in your conversion rate, because I'm sure you've been on a bunch of different websites that load super slow. If a website loads super slow today in this age, I mean, I'm clicking the back button and going to the next website as soon as possible. If a page takes any more than 1 to 2 seconds in order to load, the majority of people are gonna click off, because we're in a different age technologically, especially on a mobile phone. And a mobile phone is going to be where the majority of your traffic is coming from. The majority of your homeowners are clicking on your PPC ads from a mobile phone. So you need to make sure that the page load speed is super fast. Number two, optimize your lead form process. So we talked about this a little bit when we were going into when we were actually going through real life lead generation funnels. But you need to make sure to optimize your lead form process. So you want to A/B split test. For example, a one-step opt-in form. So your name, email, phone, and address. So you can split test that against a two-step form where you have the address, and then once they type in the address on the second step, it'll ask them for their name, email, and phone number. So there's multiple ways that you can go about this. When we went through the real life lead generation funnels, we saw that there were multiple different ways that these companies were doing things. Some had just the name and the email on the start of the opt-in form. Some asked for everything: the name, email, phone, and address. So you pretty much just have to test what works best. We found personally that the address and then the name, email, and phone number works the best for us because we have specific lead recapture technology. We're going to be talking about that in the next module once we reveal our technology, but we have a technology that automatically skip traces the address. So if they do end up falling off and not typing in their name, email, and phone number, we're going to be able to acquire that immediately. So we're able to get a much higher lead conversion rate overall instantly without having to make any changes. So that's another thing that you can do. And then number three here, this is very important. You want to focus on the congruency between your Google ad and your landing page messaging. So what is said in your Google ad needs to be fulfilled on the website. So if you say instant cash offer within 30 seconds in your Google PPC ad, but on your website, it doesn't actually do that, and it doesn't have any implication that that's actually going to happen, people are going to click off immediately because there's no congruency. What they clicked on and what they wanted in your Google ad is not shown on your actual website. So there's no congruency there. So they're going to click off because it basically immediately destroys the trust that you have with the homeowner. So you want to make sure that there's complete congruency between your Google ad and your landing page in order to optimize your lead conversion rate to the best point possible. So number three here, your cost per lead. So very simple, you want to decrease the cost per click. So by decreasing the cost per click upstream metric, so if you're able to decrease your cost per click from $10 to $5, that's ultimately with all other downstream metrics kept constant. So your lead to deal conversion rate's the same, your lead conversion rate's the same, your overall cost per closed deal would be different actually if you're decreasing the cost per click. But if all the downstream metrics are kept constant, that would just decreasing your cost per click from $10 to $5 would overall decrease your cost per lead as well. So that's very important. Increasing the lead conversion rate. So if you increase the lead conversion rate and are able to convert more clicks to your website into actual leads, that's going to reduce your cost per lead as well with all other downstream metrics kept constant. And then next here, kind of as we talked about with the cost per click, you want to cut the highest cost per lead keywords you're targeting. But once again, you need to make sure all other downstream KPIs are also underperforming. So the most important part here is you can have a high cost per lead. So you can be spending $500 cost per lead for one keyword, but if it has $1,000 cost per if it has one of the, let's say for example, the lowest cost per closed deal, which is the most important metric overall, then you would want to keep that keyword, obviously. So you need to make sure that all downstream KPIs are also underperforming if you're going to end up cutting a keyword just because of it has a high cost per lead. It's very important. Okay, so number four, the lead to deal conversion rate. So the amount of deals that are actually closed from the leads that are brought in. So how many leads does it take in order for you to actually close a deal? So number one here, this is very important, quicken your speed to lead time. So this is one of the things that one of my biggest pet peeves personally with working with clients is they don't have a fast speed to lead. You need to be calling your leads as quickly as possible. As soon as they come in, within a 5-minute time period, you need to be calling those leads if you want to actually convert them. Up to 70% of leads will sell to the first responder. So if you don't respond to them quickly, you're basically throwing that money away, and you're spending a lot of money for each and every one of these leads. You could be spending, $100, $200, $300, $500 per lead, depending on your the competitiveness of your market. So if you're not calling those leads immediately as soon as they submit their lead form, then you're leaving a ton of money on the table and reducing your overall lead to deal conversion rate, especially if you can close them on a single call. So number two, improving your sales skills, obviously. is going to allow you to close more deals. So the way you want to go about this is not a hard sell type way that all these sales trainers are teaching. You need to use more of a helpful consultative selling type approach. When you're working with these people on the phone, you want to show that you're actually genuinely trying to help people, and that's what you're actually trying to do. You're trying to help them sell their home, but also you're trying to make a profit for yourself as well. A lot of these people, they're going through a bunch of different issues. Maybe they're behind on their mortgage, maybe they're having issues or going through a divorce. You're helping these people by allowing them to sell their house for cash. Like, you're providing a great service to them, and that's why you're getting paid that split at the end of the day. So really focus on generally trying to help people, and that's going to increase your amount of closed deals overall. Next, improve the perceived value of your offer. So what can you do to increase the value of your offer without having to decrease your overall offer price? So what can you do to add value to your offer without having to lose money? So you could add bonuses, like offering to coordinate their moving trucks, pay their moving expenses. There's a bunch of different things that you can do to add on as a free bonus, and increase the overall perceived value of your offer. Maybe they have a pet, and you can set up set up something where you can get them like a kennel for the day, so you can put them in there while they're moving they're moving all their stuff out of their house. Like, what can you do? That's why it's important during the as we talked about before, the Q&A seller data collection process. Understand, like, what is the main reason behind why they want to sell the house? What are they going through right now? And then you can come in and you can figure out through your consultative selling type approach, okay, how can we genuinely help this person? How can I genuinely make this offer better so they work with me, and we provide them more value? If you can do that, it's going to help you out a ton, and you're most likely going to get that deal, because as we talked about before, and as we went through all the different lead generation funnels, the majority of people, even the companies spending the most money and the most entrenched in your market, they're not going above and beyond. So if you're willing to actually go above and beyond and genuinely help the person and do all these things that we talked about in these different modules in this training here, you are going to be able to outperform the top players in your market. So that's number 3. Number 4, give the seller the highest price offer. So this is like a last resort here, but I mean, if you're willing to cut into your profit, or if you're able to optimize your Google PPC ads to the point where you're generating a good amount of profit, that you're willing to actually cut into the amount of profit because you've optimized every single step of your funnel. So instead of spending what your competitors are spending, around $3,000 cost per deal, maybe you're only spending $1,500. So you can cut into your profit a little bit and drop your offer price, maybe $1,500, so that you can help the person out. And you can actually close the deal in comparison, and give a better deal in comparison to all the other people in your market. So that's another benefit of being able to really go above and beyond and optimize every single step of your home buyer website, and just your overall lead generation funnel. So that's the lead to deal conversion rate optimization tips. And last here we have our cost per closed deal. So once again, kind of similar to cost per lead, you want to decrease the cost per click upstream metric. So if you're able to decrease the cost per click upstream metric with all other metrics kept constant, from, let's say, for example, $10 to $5, you're going to decrease your overall cost per deal. If you increase the lead conversion rate upstream metric from 10% to 20%, that's going to decrease your overall cost per deal. If you increase the lead to deal conversion rate upstream metric, that's going to from, let's say, for example, 5 to 10%, that's going to decrease your overall cost per deal. And lastly here, and most importantly, this is where you're going to be focusing on cutting the highest cost per deal keywords. So this is the ultimate final downstream deciding metric on if you should cut or scale up your keywords. If you're seeing a good cost per closed deal in comparison to all your other keywords, then that's the exact keyword that you want to scale up, because it's doing the best. And if it's a super high cost per closed deal in comparison to all your other keywords, those are the ones that you want to cut, so you can optimize your campaigns overall and scale up the campaigns that are actually working, the keywords that are actually working in your campaigns. So these are the different steps at a high level to optimize each and every step of your Google PPC ads lead generation funnel. We're going to be doing multiple other trainings going really in depth, granularly, into each of these and other different metrics that you can optimize, but these are the main metrics that you want to focus on optimizing, and you just want to continuously keep on focusing on each and every one of these metrics, optimize just a little bit, 5% here and there, and you'll find that each and every optimization that you do is going to contribute. Like, it may seem small at the time, but all these cumulative optimizations added up can really drop your overall cost per close deal and increase the amount of profit that you're generating from each and every deal that you actually close. So it's extremely important in order to hit your guaranteed profitability formula metrics. So we talked about the optimizations that you can make to your lead generation funnel in order to increase the efficiency and drop the overall cost of your Google PPC ad campaigns. But what if I told you that we've developed a brand new advanced AI real estate landing page technology called DealHunter.ai that can be set up in just less than a couple minutes and unlocks the ability to generate motivated seller leads at literally the lowest cost of any homebuyer advertiser on the internet, guaranteed. So how does DealHunter.ai work? Well, here is a live demo in this GIF here. But basically, at a high level, DealHunter leverages artificial intelligence to automatically generate an instant offer right on the website for any home based on over 40 plus data points, sold comps, beds, baths, over 40 plus data points, and then also your own customizable maximum allowable offer settings, which any homeowner can accept, deny, or even counteroffer with just a single click of a button. So let's go through the GIF right here just so you can see. So first off, they type in their property address on the first page. Then in order to receive their instant offer, they type in all their contact information, name, email, phone number, and then it gives them the instant offer, which they can accept, deny, or counteroffer, which redirects them to the final thank you page. And that is how the technology works. But how does this increase the performance of our overall Google PPC ad campaigns? Well, let's look at this side-by-side view. So tell me right now, we have the traditional Google ads, a traditional Google ad on the left side here versus our Insta Offer technology. That's what we like to call it. We have DealHunter.ai and our instant offer technology, which allows us to make those offers. So we have our Insta Offer Google ads on the right side here. So tell me, which Google ad would you click? The one where you're able to sell your house for cash, no realtor required, that's the offer, or highest cash offer guaranteed, cash offer in 90 seconds? Which ad would you click here? Well, you're going to click the ad that gives you the instant gratification because that's what people want. People are conditioned for instant gratification. They want the offer price now. So if you're willing to, as we talked about before, increase the overall perceived value of your Google PPC ad, then you're going to steal the click from everyone else in the other surrounding competition, Google PPC ads. And that's exactly what we're able to do with our instant offer and actually make it congruent because we have that specific technology that no one else in none of our other competition has. So not only are we allowed to say cash offer in 90 seconds, but it's going to be congruent. And on the next page, we have that technology that allows us to actually do that. So that's very important as well. So once again, people are conditioned for instant gratification. They want the instant offer price now, and that's exactly what we're doing. And that's exactly what we can put in our ad in order to get the click. So what does that do? Well, it allows us to get a higher ad CTR, as we talked about in the previous module with our optimizations. People are going to click on our advertised instant offer versus the commoditized advertisement that everyone else is using with the 24 to 48 hour offer, or just they don't even tell them. They're just going to say we're going to get back to you whenever, so they don't even know. There's no ad differentiation. It's the identical ad as we talked about in the previous modules as basically everyone else. As we saw, we went in the real life, the very first module where we went into the real life Google PPC ads. We went through the Google search results, and every single ad is basically the same. So if you're able to come to the market with your Google PPC ads in your specific target market with this differentiated instant offer, advertised ability, it's going to allow you to steal the click from everyone else from all your competition. And that's going to provide you with a higher ad CTR. And when you have a higher ad CTR, as we talked about in the previous module, it equals a lower cost per click because you're getting more clicks per impressions. So And then also, because you have the instant offer, it allows you to get a higher lead conversion rate. Why? Because once again, in order for them to actually get the instant offer, which they can receive right on the website, they need to type in their contact information first. So by giving them that instant offer, we're able to increase our overall lead conversion rate because people know if I simply just type in my contact information, I'm actually getting something in return. I'm getting the actual instant offer immediately as soon as I type in my name, email, phone number, and address. In comparison to our normal commoditized offer, where you basically just type your name, email, phone number, and property into the form, and you don't even know when they're going to get back to you. So there's no value that you're getting immediately, instantly, as soon as you type in that information. You just go to a thank you page, and they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to follow up with you whenever." But that's the difference between our instant offer technology, where we're actually giving them something in return for their contact information immediately upon submit of the form. So we're able to get a higher lead conversion rate as well. So not only a higher ad CTR and a lower cost per click, but also a higher lead conversion rate as well. So when we have a lower CPC and we have a higher lead conversion rate, we're able to get lower cost per lead, a lower cost per lead. So we talked about this in the previous module, how important a lower cost per lead is. So when we're able to get a lower cost per lead, we're also able to get more leads with the same ad budget. So if we're getting a $100 cost per lead, and we have $1,000 ad budget, we're able to get 10 leads. But if we're able to decrease that to $50 cost per lead, we're able to get 20 leads with the same exact ad budget. And also, this is something that's very important as well. That we'll talk about in future trainings, optimization. So Google's pixel optimization it's one of the most important things with Google Ads. So the more conversions you get, the more leads you get, the more optimized Google's algorithm becomes, and the more likely they are to find those exact homeowners that are lead could potentially be leads for your business. So you're basically training the Google Ads pixel to go out and find you the best leads possible. And as you get more lead conversion data on that pixel, it's going to go out and it's going to drop the overall cost of your campaigns. So as you get more data on that pixel, it's Google's algorithm is basically optimizing for the best leads possible, and dropping the overall costs of those leads as well. So that's very important too. So you're able to get more leads with the same exact ad budget, and also more optimization on your Google Ads pixel overall. So when you're able to get more leads at a higher conversion rate, that equals more closed deals per month. And as we know, if we're able to close more deals per month, that means we're generating more money overall, and at a higher profit too, because we're able to generate lower cost per lead too. And as we talked about, if we're able to decrease those upstream metrics, it's going to decrease the overall cost per deal. So that is the difference between traditional Google Ads versus our Insta Offer Google Ads. That's why this technology is so powerful, specifically for using Google Ads, because we're able to differentiate in a market where everyone is running the exact same identical commoditized Google PPC ad placements. Just sell your home for cash, no realtor required. We buy homes fast. That we're able to provide the instant cash offer within 90 seconds. Once again, people are conditioned for instant gratification, so they're going to click our ad. We're able to steal the click from even the most entrenched advertisers in our market at a lower cost per click, a higher lead conversion rate, an overall lower cost per lead. We're able to get more leads with the same ad budget. We're able to optimize our pixel even further. And if we're able to get more leads at a lower cost, it's going to decrease our overall cost per deal as well if the quality of the lead stays constant, which because of our ability to get more conversion data on the actual pixel is most likely going to happen. So we're able to get more closed deals per month and more money overall. So that is the benefit of our Insta Offer Google Ads, but it only gets better than that. Because Also, we have our proprietary double invisible lead recapture technology, where we're able to increase our lead conversion rates from an industry average of around 20 to 30% to literally as high as 60+%. So not only do we have the benefits of our Insta Offer technology, but we also have our invisible lead recapture technology, which allows us to recapture up to 30+% of the people who don't actually opt in on the form. So how are we able to do that? Well, we have our lead recapture mechanism number one, which is our real-time auto skip trace technology. So here is the very first page of our Insta Offer website. So what we do is we basically have a preloaded website. So we do, hundreds of different split tests virtually every single month. And what we do is we basically don't allow people to create their own website. We have a pre-made, preloaded, pre-conversion optimized website that we're continuously doing optimizations on, and anything that we find out converts the current control, we automatically upload that to our users' websites. So we're giving them the preloaded, most conversion optimized website possible, that they're able to literally just set up with just a couple clicks in less than a couple minutes. It's that simple. So what we do is we allow them to type in their property address first, and we also have the Google autofill. So literally, they type in a couple numbers from their property address, and they can just simply click the Google autofill of their exact property address and immediately move on to the next step. So a homeowner lands on the website from our Google or ad or Facebook ad. The homeowner types in their property address on the first page, but in this specific scenario, they don't fill out the form with their contact info on the next page. So they actually don't fill out their name, email, or phone number. They only fill out their property address. So what happens is when that happens is Deal Hunter is going to perform an automatic real-time skip trace of the homeowner's address to uncover their contact information. So that's exactly what skip tracing does. It basically allows us to type the property address into the a database, and it basically matches the property address with the homeowner's specific name, email, and phone number. So we're able to acquire that contact information even though they don't the homeowner doesn't even type it in on our website. How incredible is that? So literally all they have to do is just type in their property address, and we immediately, if they don't end up filling out the form on the next page, we automatically have their contact information, and we can immediately follow up with them using their uncovered contact information that's been uploaded into our CRM within Deal Hunter. So how incredible is that? So we're able to recapture a lead even though with all of their contact information, even though they don't even fill out the form with their actual name, email, or phone number. Incredibly powerful. And that's just one of the ways that we're able to increase our overall lead conversion rate from the industry average of 20 to 30%. So this one's pretty crazy right here. This is lead recapture mechanism number two. We like to call it our seller ID pixel. So it's our identity graph matching technology. So you've most likely never heard of something like this before. It's extremely advanced, but incredibly, incredibly powerful. Probably one of the most powerful technologies out there, specifically when it comes to lead generation. So in this specific lead recapture scenario, number two, the homeowner does not type in their property address on the first page, and they don't even fill out the form with their contact information. So this is a 100% anonymous visitor that simply just hits our website. So the homeowner lands on our website from a Google ad or Facebook ad. The homeowner does not type in their property address on the first page or fill out the form on the second page with their contact information. As I said, it's a 100% anonymous visitor that hits our website. And then what happens next is in step three, the Deal Hunter seller ID pixel that we have automatically coded into the website, it performs a real-time automatic matching of the visitor. This is really in depth here in detail, but just so you kind of understand exactly how it works. It does a real-time automatic matching of the anonymous visitors' identifiers. So there's specific identifiers that every person has on the website. It's kind of, on the internet when they're browsing in their browser. So it's kind of like a cookie. I guess you can kind of, it's kind of similar to that, but they're different identifiers that they use, plus also their IP address, which we can grab from their browsing on our website. And then what we do is we use our proprietary identity graph database. So we purchased a database of over 300 million plus B2C homeowner profiles. It's actually a 100% compliant opt-in network. So there's there's a bunch of data brokers out there that are selling for like basically B2C homeowner profile identity information. So it has their name, it has their email, it has their phone number, and it's all connected back to that database. So we're able to tap into that database, and then what our seller ID pixel is basically able to do is match those anonymous identifiers and their IP address with this database to find and uncover up to 30% of the anonymous website visitors' contact information, which would be their name, email, phone number, and address, and then recapture that lead. So let's say for example 30% of people opt in on our website, so they complete the actual form, and let's say 60% of people do not opt in on our website or actually type in their property address. So they're a 100% anonymous visitor. 60% of people just leave our website. So we're able to get up to 30% of that 60% of people. We're able to actually figure out their contact information, their name, email, phone number, and address, and recapture that lead, and it gets automatically uploaded into our CRM. So we can follow up with them. So what you need to understand here is, because we're utilizing Google PPC ads, these are highly qualified people. These aren't just random people that are hitting our website. We know for a fact if that visitor is coming to our website and they clicked on our Google PPC ad, there's someone who literally typed in "sell my home fast for cash," or one of those relevant keywords into Google, and then clicked on our PPC ad and came to our website. So that's a highly qualified person. They maybe just at the time weren't maybe they were in their car, maybe they weren't at the perfect time to actually go through and follow up with our form. They weren't able to type in all their information. They were getting their kids out of their car. They're driving in the car. They're on a walk. They're doing something, and they weren't able to actually type in all their contact information. Well, we're able to match their anonymous identifiers in our database, uncover their contact information, so we can follow up with them because we know they're actually an interested lead. That is the power of this technology. It's not just a random person. We know for a fact that this person clicked our Google PPC ad and they're interested in selling their home, and then we're able to immediately follow up with them and provide them with an offer on their home because we have their name, email, phone, and their address as well, so we can skip trace their property and understand everything about their property. So this is incredibly powerful. So what are we able to do here? Deal Hunter is going to allow you to 2 to 5x your current home buyer website lead conversion rate. So on industry average, as we talked about, it's around 20. It's around, sometimes it's around 10%. It really depends on your market. For anywhere from 10 to 30% of people are going to fill out a form on the traditional home buyer website. But what we're able to do is get a 30% of actual homeowners to complete the entire form because of our instant offer technology. So immediately we were able to outperform them without even using our invisible lead recapture technology. But when we add in our double invisible lead recapture technology, we're able to increase that by another 20 to 30%. And we're working on our database to make it even more powerful. I think we can get up to around 60%, but just for right now, we have it around 20 to 30%. So when we combine both of those together, we're looking at a total combined lead conversion rate of around 50 to 60%. So we're able to get up to 60+ percent of the contact information of people who hit our website. It's absolutely incredible in comparison to 20 to 30%. And as we talked about before, with our guaranteed profitability formula, the difference between a 20% to a 60% conversion rate is thousands of dollars off on your total cost per closed deal. So you're able to generate a much higher profit and generate way more leads in the door. So now what I want to do is actually compare the difference of profitability metrics between a normal home buyer website versus our next gen Deal Hunter landing page technology. So let's look at a side by side here. So let's take these two scenarios, for example. So we have a monthly ad budget, for example, of $10,000. And then we'll go through similar to our guaranteed profitability formula. We have a cost per click of $30. And for the left and right side here, so we have our Deal Hunter AI website on the left side here. And we have a current home buyer website on the right side here, so a normal home buyer website. So the only difference that we're changing here is the overall lead conversion rate. Every other metric is basically kept the exact same. So the cost per click is $30 on side by side. The lead to deal conversion rate is the exact same, so it's 5%. So 1 out of every 20 leads close on a deal. The average earnings per lead is $15,000 for both. But the only thing that we changed here is the lead conversion rate. So on our Deal Hunter, on our current home, on the normal home buyer website, we have a 20% lead conversion rate. So that's the industry average. For our DealHunter.ai website, we have our completed lead conversion rate. So that people actually go through and complete the form. We have it at 30%. And then we have our recaptured lead conversion rate at 30% as well. So we have an overall combined lead conversion rate of 60%. So that's 3 times the lead conversion rate of a normal home buyer website. So what happens when we're able to do that? Well, we're able to go from a $150 cost per lead with a normal home buyer website to just a $50 cost per lead. So literally a 3x decrease. As we talked about, the deal conversion rate's the exact same. So our cost per deal goes from $3,000 to just $1,000. We keep the average earnings per deal constant at $15,000 for both, and we have we turn our profit per deal from just $12,000 to $14,000, and this is the big one here. So our return on ad spend goes from just 5x to 15x. So that's a 10x increase in return on ad spend. So instead of making $5 per $1 spent on ads, we're making $15 per $1 spent on ads. And once we get into the ad spend efficiency metrics, this is where things really start getting crazy. So based on our $10,000 monthly ad budget, we're able to generate the same exact amount of clicks because we're spending $30 per click, so 333 clicks each. But then the leads start really taking a difference. So instead of around 66 leads per month, we're generating 200 leads per month, so over 3x difference. And instead of 3 deals per month, we're generating 10 deals per month from the same exact $10,000 in monthly ad budget. And then instead of, technically on the right side here, it would be only 3 deals. So it would be 3 times 15. So it would technically be only $45,000 that we're making, because you can't do 0.33 deals. So technically the revenue would be $45,000 in comparison to $150,000 from the same $10,000 in ad spend. And if we look at the overall profit, we would take 3 times 12, which would be $36,000. So it would be $36,000 compared to in profit per month compared to $140,000. So over $100,000 per month difference each and every month in profit from the same exact $10,000 in ad spend, just by switching over to our DealHunter.ai website and being able to capture 60% of the leads that hit our website. So that is the difference. We're talking about $100,000 a month, over $1.2 million per year difference from just utilizing our DealHunter.ai advanced landing page technology in comparison to a normal home buyer website. And this is why we developed this. It's built by real estate PPC marketers for real estate PPC marketers. So this was the entire training. I hope you guys really liked it. I think we really dug deep in and were extremely detailed in each and every module of this training. And I hope it really helped open your eyes into how powerful Google PPC ads are, specifically for wholesalers and flippers. when it comes to lead generation. So we went over what are Google Ads, and we went over exactly how they're used to generate high quality motivated seller leads. We went through the step-by-step breakdown of the entire Google Ads motivated seller lead generation funnel. We went through both of the different types. We went through the high volume lead generation funnel and also the high quality lead generation funnel for when you're scaling up your business. We revealed our Google Ads Wholesaling Guaranteed Profitability Calculator. Once again, you can download that below in the description. It's 100% free. You need to use that before each and every Google Ads PPC campaign that you launch, and then our post-launch strategy. So we went over exactly how to optimize each and every step of your Google Ads lead generation funnel to hit your desired KPIs. And lastly, we talked about exactly how to get access to our next gen real estate website technology that cuts lead costs by up to 60+% and allows you to generate leads and deals at the absolute lowest cost of any home buyer advertiser on the entire internet. It's your number one unfair advantage, and you can also get that in the description as well. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Definitely stay alert for stay alert for new videos. Going to be dropping a lot of new content. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just email us at info@dealhunter.ai and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.